We live in a world where energy is all around us. We live in a world where we know more about the moon than we do of our deepest depths. What else don't we know? Can anything in this world be so certain? Sometimes things can't be explained. Things that are not normal. In fact, so abnormal, we call them the paranormal. Many people around the world since the birth of existence have experienced something they just couldn't explain. Go Animate is no exception. This is Speak of the Paranormal with Go Animate's PT Almighty. Hello Go Animate, I'm PT Almighty and welcome back to another great episode of Speak of the Paranormal. Today, we'll be exploring the paranormal experience of fellow Go Animator, Smirks. These accounts are the true stories of animators. Some may be frightening or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. The day started off just like any other for Smirks. He awoke, checked Facebook, just the everyday morning task of a teenage boy. But while online, something sparked a sudden interest inside him.
Well, it started when I watched a ghost hunting video on the internet, and that's what started the whole thing. Ever since I watched the ghost hunting video, I just had a weird feeling and I just wanted to go over there and just investigate the place, you know?
Smirks had always loved paranormal shows and movies and thought it would be pretty fun to do an investigation himself at a local graveyard just a bike ride away. While preparing for his visit to the graveyard, Smirks ran into his friend downstairs.
Well, my friend was already over at the time and I told them that I was gonna head out and investigate the graveyard. And he just wanted to come along.
His friend showed the same enthusiasm as Smirks. They ran back upstairs to grab a few more essential things for the investigation.
Well, I wanted to grab the video camera because I wanted to make it look like I'm doing a ghost hunting video because, of course, I like doing all that stuff. So yeah, I just grabbed the video camera with me, and I didn't really care, I just grabbed it.
Smirks and his friend were seething with excitement. The bike ride to the graveyard was a light one, full of jokes and ease. When they arrived, they shrugged at the seemingly quiet, inactive, peaceful venue that is the graveyard.
When we first entered the graveyard, we thought, hey, this is not bad, but yeah, when we first entered, we didn't think anything was wrong.
Nothing happened at first. In fact, their evening was riddled with more teenage boy jokes and pranks than anything. But that was before the sun set. As darkness consumed the graveyard, the entire ambiance of the place changed.
Well, when the evening started to progress and when it got a little darker out, the graveyard started to get colder. It was like getting cold outside. And that's when everything started to happen.
They moved deeper and deeper into the graveyard. They thought they were seeing things. Scurrying shadows. They thought they were hearing things. They felt the temperature change. Unnaturally change so much that it affected their bodies. They were now on edge.
The temperature kept changing and my friend, he was like sweating and it was like chilly out. I was like, dude, it's like he was literally sweating and it was so cold out and I was like in shock. I'm like, how are you sweating? And he was like freaking out and I'm like, oh man, this is scary. So yeah, everything started happening when it got darker out.
Suddenly, his friend stopped in his tracks. Smirks turned around, and though he was feeling the fear himself, He tried to convince his friend it was nothing, and they should continue on. His friend wouldn't move. He was becoming irate.
The way he was acting, like he was acting that he wanted to leave really badly, but he also didn't want to, because he was really wanting to do this. But yeah, he was like getting really scared, and I didn't even know what was wrong. He was just freaking out, and yeah, he was just freaking out right in front of me.
Smirks and his friend decided to continue moving forward until his friend stopped again, this time letting out a small shout. Smirks turned around to see his friend rubbing his neck. He told Smirks frantically that it felt like something had bit him. Smirks brushed off his friend's comment and continued moving forward, but his friend stayed. Smirks thought it was just another one of his friend's pranks, but that was before he examined the mark.
He told me that it felt like something bit him, and I didn't believe him because I thought, oh, it's just probably a bug or a bee that stung him. But no, it wasn't a bug or anything. I really saw the mark, and it was shocking.
It looked like a bite mark from teeth and not an insect.
Well, he showed me. He pointed to his neck. That he said that his neck hurt, and well, I saw the bite mark. It had like three like teeth marks, one on the top side and one on the bottom, and that's where I saw it, and I was freaking out.
Smirks had no intention to continue his little investigation. He felt as though something wanted them to leave, and he really felt the need to just go, especially after what he'd just seen.
When I saw the mark, I wanted to leave really badly, and I was so scared, and I just really wanted to leave.
Smirks and his friend ran back to their bikes and hurried back to his place. There, Smirks examined the footage. He told his friend that yes, it's true, they very much did experience something, but that would mean nothing to others if they didn't catch it on camera.
Well, I decided to look through the footage because I wanted to see if he caught anything, and I needed to see the bite mark again because it was so scary. And it turns out, when I saw in the footage, right before my friend got bitten, I could see a dark figure standing right under a tree, right behind him, and I was so scared when I saw it.
Smirks rewinded the footage over and over. He was now petrified with fear. He showed his friend the footage, and they couldn't believe what they'd seen.
My reaction to the dark figure was, I was petrified. I was freaking out. I showed my friend also, and he was scared also. And I told myself I was never going to go back there again.
Thank you, Smirks, for bravely sharing your story with Speak of the Paranormal. We've just got one question for you that you know we have to ask. Do you believe what you witness is in fact paranormal?
Yes, I do believe this is all paranormal. And yes, I did experience my friend sweating and the freaking out. I believe that was paranormal also. So yes, I believe this was all paranormal.
Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Speak of the Paranormal with PT Almighty. And remember, if you have a paranormal experience that you want to share with the Go Animate community, this is your show. Until next time, I'm PT Almighty, and this has been Speak of the Paranormal. So long.